Okay, let's pray, please. Father Almighty God, thank you. Thank you for everyone that are here. Thank you for the life that you have given us. Father, as we are going through this, may you send the Holy Spirit to guide us. And what we want is only Holy Spirit. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay, thank you very much, Elvis Kero. We also value prayers because we believe that without God we are nothing. So right now I'm going to call our Director of Studies to welcome our guest and also introduce our...
In the first place, I would like to recognize our visitors who are headed by Council Monicah Malith and his team, the administration of the Lead High School, the leadership of the prefects, class monitors around, and not forgetting you.
My name is Moch Simon. I will just going to be brief, technician by profession, and I love my passion compared to my profession. That means I am a writer, a poet, and then an author at the same time. And I love writing books. I have authored 2 books, Two Worlds Collide, Care Within Kingsmen, and then there are more that are on the way coming. And then on the artistic scene, I am the founder of Poetry Connect. Sooner or later, we deal specifically with poetry. I think basically that's how best I can introduce myself.
Thank you so much. Because with my personal story, the university and their vision and mission, and the course that I want to do, and why Oxford, or why the specific university that you want to go to, and why are you doing law, and who are you? Most of the time, you'll do and say, you know, I'm from a very poor background, you know, like my family don't have money, and I'm very bright. Everyone else is bright. There are people who got better grades than yourself. But then what sets you to be a unique person? And that's why we need to understand from the point of the university that you want to apply to, and then the scholarship. And the scholarships that are there funding students because of the background of maybe someone was from a needy background, and they say after making it in life they need to establish a scholarship to fund the needy students. So how do you know the need or the reason as to why that scholarship fund was established? And then at the same time, how do you set yourself unique from the rest? Because you're not the only one applying. In a university, they can receive more than 100,000 applications. But what makes you outstanding is how you write your own story. At the same time, you must state your academic goals. Who is doing science courses? Who is in a science class? Why did you choose sciences? Yeah? You want to just feel yourself in the school that, you know, I'm doing sciences and I'm bright. Or did you say I'm doing sciences because my course is aligned with maybe science subjects? Yes. So you need to know from there your academic goals from the time you came to school, and especially now that you're exiting. By the time I was exiting, I wanted to do political science, international relations, and law. Of course, law being number 1. And if I was to do a master's today, maybe I'll do master's in political science because I want to be a politician. Yeah, I'm very passionate about politics, by the way. So apart from being a lawyer, I'm taking part in politics, come what may. So, and then again, strong storytelling and self-reflection are required. If I was to tell you to start today and tell us about yourself, can we feel like crying if it's a sad story? Or can we really be happy and say, I'm going to use them as my role model because of how you tell your story? So your story, you yourself must be a good storyteller. And there is no one who understands you better than yourself. And how can you make me understand you? I now understand that he studied in Uganda for primary school. Yes? And now I understand that he's doing a science course. Why did he do science? because maybe you want to be a computer scientist. Those are the things that I have now known, I have an idea about him. So how do you tell your story and how do you become a good storyteller? And then from there, you are required to align your goals with scholarship values and institutional missions. At the same time, I've talked about understanding the universities that you want to apply to. And there is this question. What scholarships are looking for is a student that when they graduate, they'll be good members of the society. By being good, you're going to bring transformation and change, especially in a context like South Sudan. South Sudan is still the youngest nation in the world, and it being the youngest nation means that there are so many development programs that need to be done. So when you do your own story, what story do you bring about South Sudan? Do you put in your application and say, when I come back or when I do medical, I want to do medicine because in South Sudan we have few medical doctors. Or number two, we have diseases that have no cure, maybe something like that. The medical terms and all of that. So you say, I'm going to do medicine because I need to come back to South Sudan and help our people because most people are dying because of poor health facilities and maybe few doctors. So you want to go for medicine, one, because of your personal ambitions. Number two, because of you want to come and help your society. We don't need to know that you're from a poor background because everyone else is knowing that you're in need. And that's why the admissions and the scholarship are coming out to look for outstanding students. So how do you link all of these for your applications? And how do you link your application of the specific course that you want to do to the university that you want to go to and to the scholarship that you want to apply for? At the same time, there is who is comfortable here when they leave elite high school, they will still be remembered, and why? In the next 5 years to come, if you leave elite high school, who is confident that even if they come back, someone will remember them? Like by myself, students or pupils from primary school still know me or have an idea about me. Who Monicah Malith was in this school. How many years ago? 2015. I left that school in 2015. But if you go now to a class 8 and ask, do you know Monicah Malith? They'll say, yes, we know. Teachers who even came after me, when I go to that school, they still know me. How many, or even teachers who transfers to a different school still will talk about me. Who is confident here that in the next, even when they leave elite high school now, or when I call a teacher and make one student stand, they'll talk about you. Who is there? How many people are confident that if you leave, your class teacher know you and can tell you from your strengths and your weaknesses? You. Yes, I know why. Yes, I can tell your story. And I can tell why people will remember you. And each and every one of you, you must not be known for debate, right? But what is it that you're known in? Maybe you're best in science, or in physics, or in mathematics. So your mathematics teacher will have to know what, if they talk about you, they say in calculus or in this specific unit, the student is good, but when it comes to section B, even my teacher knew that I will do well in section A or I'll do well in section B in a specific unit. And this comes to one of the things that failed South Sudanese or failed students from acquiring scholarships. Because there is the requirement for you to have a recommender, referee, someone who can say, yes, I know them, and by what they write, they'll make you get a scholarship or not. And the biggest problem is that you're in class, very quiet, you don't contribute, you're not talking, you're not asking questions, even consulting with the teachers out of your normal class. No one knows you. Okay, it's one thing that I know your name. What was your name? Bol. Yeah, you having known your name is Bol means nothing. Can I talk about you deeper than that? Do I know your weaknesses and your strength? I don't know. So, but how do you make a teacher know you? Because most of the scholarships will see what is this teacher saying about this specific student. But if you're just going to, if your referee is going to write a generic kind of a reference that I know them, they are good students, they did well, and academically good. What anyone can say about you, even if you go to a farmer. They'll just write anything that will impress you from outside there. When you send it to someone and say, oh yeah, he's a good student, to the primary school that I studied, and train candidates or prepare candidates for the KC, what? Not KCSE. Oops. How is it called here? Yes. Yeah, so you say that's how leadership is. So at times, people will think that leadership means that I was a president, I must have been a president somewhere, or I was a head girl or something. But then how do you package yourself? How do you tell your own story from a leadership role? Because people want leaders. Because scholarships are here to offer world leaders. And how do you become a world leader? You know, you must not be a leader because you're a politician, you're President Kiir, or you're Honorable Akwilwe. That's when you can say, I'm a leader. You can be a leader in your company. Business people are leaders in their own respect. Even in media, people are leaders in media. How can you lead a media team if you don't have leadership qualities? How can you be a head teacher if you don't have leadership qualities? So leadership doesn't mean that you have to be a politician and have positions that are recognized that you can be called a leader. You can be a leader because even running your own family, you're a leader. And how do you bring out those stories of qualities of a good leader? And how can you say that I was a leader? For me, it's so easy that I was president of the University of Nairobi. I led about 75 to 80,000 students, and I represented the students in the Senate. That is so like flowing about me. Again, how do you package your own story? You must not be like me, or you must not be like how we debate. But then in your uniqueness, can you understand yourself? And from understanding yourself, you can tell us your story. Don't copy my story and write it, because again, that scholarship can be discontinued even if you go to that university and you don't reflect the values. Some of you can be leaders in football. You're so good in football. What are the activities that you do out of your classroom? Because we know everyone else, education is right of everyone else, but apart from education, what else do you have alongside that people can say it sets him apart or her? So these are the few things that you have to look at when you're applying for these scholarships. And this has to be a training that has to be done. And when you do your personal essays, usually it's 300 to 500 words. Linking your story, your story to the university and to the scholarship vision and mission. And from there, you proceed. And I think until that point, another thing that I want to talk on was, at times when you're choosing a referee, you just say because he or she was my class teacher, I can take them. Or accessibility, you can say, oh, if I call Monica, she'll be available, she'll just pick my call. But then will I do a good a reference for you, or will I do a good recommendation for you? So you have to choose, and you have to befriend some of your teachers. Make it deliberate. That you know someone, by the time you leave this school, you know someone, and this someone will help you through your journey. Can you have mentors? Mentors are people that go beyond just telling you how to perform, but people are telling you, even when going through the process of applications, they help you. And then again, some of you don't know how to request recommendations. Okay, like if I was applying, there is a template that I had to submit to my teacher for them to provide for me a recommendation. But then, how can you make someone really feel like I should do it? Because recommendations are hard to write. So how do you convince a teacher to commit their time to actually think about you and write a recommendation? So you have to be very strategic when requesting them, because again, if you just select any random person, it can be a generic one or weak. Generic means anyone can write about you, even someone who don't know you. Just tell them I'm applying for this scholarship and this is what I'm going to do, and then there's nothing else. So how do you how do you become very intentional with the application for a referee and for you to be given a reference? And then, okay, at times we don't have, we have challenges in the country because we don't have existing avenues where people can go and get mentorship coaching one-on-one. Because if I ask you today, why do you want to do law? Because law, you just In the next few years, if you enroll at NYIN-WONG, you'll be called a Molana. And you'll put on good suits. And you'll be respected. But then, what is it that will encourage you, or what is it that will carry you through the most boring course at times can be law, because you have to read a lot of big volumes of books, and law is boring unless you make it interesting for yourself. With the cases, precedents, you have to cite cases, you have to be up to date with what is happening now. So when you are just doing law because you want to be impressed, there are memes that circulate in Kenya that I took law to impress the village man, but now law is impressing me in a different way. So when you're selecting a course that you want to do you want to just say, hey, I'm a doctor, but a doctor who makes many patients dies in their hand, or a lawyer that loses cases and their people are jailed, or their clients are jailed. So when you're choosing law, it also depends with your personality and your communication skills for you to be a lawyer. If you can't sit before people and address them, or you can't confidently stand before people and address them, how do you become a lawyer? And how do you prepare? It doesn't have to you, the preparation for being a lawyer doesn't start when you do what? When you enroll in a law degree. It starts all the way from now being in a class. Are you speaking? Are you someone who speaks up? Do you see injustices in your class, even as low as teacher being unfair to you? Do you correct them? Because for me, in my days, if a teacher just becomes nosy for no good reason, we are heads. Like I will just tell him, oh, here will not agree. So to what extent can you stand up? Or when injustices happens, are you ready to say, Monica, you're taking our time, you're supposed to end this class by 2:40 and now you're extending? How courageous can you be enough to tell me when I'm doing something wrong? So those are the few things that we need to know when you're preparing for scholarships and what opportunities are available. And from there, I can stop from there with telling you that the scholarships opportunities exist, and then you need mentorship. Mentorship from you even coming home and calling me and one-on-one. This is generic. I'm doing a general information session. But then if you want to be intentional, you can reach out to someone you know and tell them, hey, there was this session in our school and people are talking on scholarships. Can you tell me more about it? And from there now you're getting intentional and preparing yourself, knowing that the scholarship opportunities exist, and how are you preparing yourself to apply for them? And then structure your programs and your support. Look out for people. For me, I'm busy, of course, but if you call me, I'll pick your calls, and if I see you interested in knowing what scholarship application requires and how do you go through it, I'll be available to talk to you depending on your interest. So I think I'll stop from there and invite questions, because I think we're running out of time. Yeah, so if you have questions, you can ask your questions. And this is the end of my session. Yes?
Hello. You can call me Lazarus Attention. My question is, how will you know that the application is a scam? In most platforms, you might get application and you don't know whether it is a scam or not.
Another question?
You can call me Akuchi Lasoben Michael. Actually, like you talked before, you talk about those people. Like you said before, if you want to apply for scholarship, you have to be known. If you go somewhere, your name have to be shine. Also, you talk about like.
Hey, can you keep quiet? Wait for your time.
Yeah, you said also you have to be a leader. What if you are talented in anything and you have never been a leader? And also, being a leader, you can be a leader by yourself. Like leading yourself to be a honest person, innocent. This means that you are also a leader by yourself, not leading someone. How come that you have to be a leader when you are talented in anything?
Okay, let me answer those because I don't have a book to write them. I was telling, I'll start with him, business come. It's, you have to be very conversant with the school that you want to apply to. And from the school's website, you will get that scholarship advertisement. So you just need to know again, how do you go through media and skim through them when searching for information. And the website, of course, there are websites that you will see, legitimate websites, and there are websites that you can, of course, the scholarship can be advertised in the WhatsApp groups. But most of the time, scholarships are not scams, because how will they come you? If you get any scholarship abroad that is asking for fees, some application fees, you have to do more research on the same scholarship. Number two, you were talking about being known. I was on the being known part, I was focused on referees and looking for someone to write your recommendation, because it's a compulsory requirement to have 2 referees when you're applying for the scholarship. So being known is that you have to let 1 teacher or 2 know you. Know you better, not just by your name or that there's this person in class, but someone who understands you from your points of weaknesses, from your favorite subject, all the way from any other thing that is your strength. And on leadership, I said earlier, I put the emphasis that you must not be the head girl, or you must not be maybe head boy or president or anything. You can be the chairperson of any club. You can even be leading a choir in your Sunday school or in your youth, in your church. But then you can't tell us that, you can't write a story and say, I have been leading myself. Because everyone else is leading themselves. And that's why you have to really focus on what are these strengths. I also spoke of, how is it called? Sorry. You can also talk about activities that you're passionate about, like football and any other game. People who talk about basketball, those tall guys will say, I'm very passionate about basketball and I participated in basketball at this time. Or I'm a debater, or like I lead CU. Those who even do CU in school, or PI, those who lead choir here. You're a leader. So I was telling you, can you know, you don't have to be stated in the big position or leadership roles, but you can be a leader in your own specific way. So don't tell us about you being a leader leading yourself. Yep, another question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is, when should one apply for the scholarship?
Okay. When should one apply for the scholarship?
Like one year after the senior 4 or?
Okay. Give him and then check.
Okay, I'm John Mathiang. The conversation was interesting and I learned something new about. Most of us did not know about applying for such scholarships that are so far away, and they may need data or other things that is hindering a lot of us. And what I can say about this, because we learn little now, we are going to try it outside, but you are the person who has got an opportunity to go and you are sure of your scholarship now. You are going to UK, and you will go and study there and come back. As you are going, how should you reach other people that have guidance and are redundant in the areas to be knowing what they do or how they should qualify to touch a scholarship, and how you should improve on us here? Because you said before it is so competitive. How are you making us unique?
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll answer the set of the 2 questions. One was on when you should apply for the scholarship. When you get your results. Yes, and the scholarships have timelines. Most of the times they roll out in May. From May all the way, the deadlines. You're given about 4 to 5 months to apply for the scholarship, by the way. So from May, there are those that roll out from May, others come out in October, and the deadlines are usually December, around 15th of December, 5th of December. So when you get your results, you apply. And of course, there is usually timeline of 5 years, so you must not apply immediately. You can say maybe I took 2 years to work and get experience in the course that I want to do or anything else, and then you apply. And then how I'm preparing you for someone who has already got the chance to go for the scholarship is that I'm having this opportunity now to create awareness that there are these opportunities available, and these are the things that you need to know. So it's now your responsibility to go out there, like I was saying. Can you reach out to me after this session? Can you reach out to someone else? Because I'm not the only one in the space. Can you reach out to other people? And there are information sessions from the specific universities and scholarships. Like now, the biggest provider of scholarships abroad is MasterCard. So how do you go to these pages and find information about them? Because you don't have to always come to me and I inform you. You also have to know and ask questions from what you have seen on media. And then from there now we can tell you that do this and that. But everyone else is available. Even your teachers can reach out to other people who can provide more information and more preparation. As I was saying, be intentional with it and look for people to coach you apart from this just one-time session. This is an information session. It's not a session that will provide for you an understanding of all the requirements you need to apply for the scholarships and the opportunities. Yeah, thank you.
Question goes clear that we the students who are going to apply for this scholarship here are not having direct access to the administrators in charge of the scholarship outside there. But you as an individual that have introduced us this scholarship here, please, what help will you give us, the students who will apply for it?
Okay, my question goes like this. There are some scholarships like institute. Like the second class, you find a scholarship, but it's not a university, it's an institute. How will you know that this one is an institute and not a scholarship?
My name is Akon Abbas. At your speech, at the beginning, you said there are two things. First, applying for the admission and then applying for the scholarship. My question is it likely for somebody to be admitted and fail to get the scholarship? If yes, what could be the problem if you have the same application but still don't make it to get the scholarship when you've been admitted?
No, let me answer those because I don't have somewhere to put them down. First, the help I'm offering to anyone is coming to give you information, introduce you to information. And then now it's your role as a student to reach out. I think it's similar to the question he asked. Yes, how do you become deliberate and do more research on the same? Ask me if you didn't understand something, or if you go out there and now you get a scholarship opportunity and there's some of the questions. Can you reach out to someone like myself and your teachers to provide more information on the same, or tell you when this is a legitimate scholarship and how do you proceed with the whole process of application? Someone was asking about institute and universities. Clearly it will be stated that this is a university. The scholarship has even they will tell you a partial scholarship and a full scholarship. Partial scholarship means that they're only going to pay your tuition fee. How you take your flights from your country, how you get your visa, that's up to you. And how you get to accommodate yourself, food, that's up to you. That is a partial scholarship. A full scholarship will give you all the way from leaving your country, the country that you're going to study in, and accommodation, food, and allowances. Allowances and money that you have. If anything comes up, you need to go get maybe some toothbrushes or one trouser. You can use them whichever the way you want, and then you feed yourself. And then now they pay your tuition fee. So you will know that this is an institute, and most of the time the scholarship for institutes are very limited. Especially for specific course, that's when you can get a scholarship on institutes, but most of the time it's universities. And of course, it's very possible that you get admission to a university and you don't get a scholarship. And that's what I was saying. Usually, the scholarship application and the university admission are two separate things. How you convince It's usually an advantage for someone who has good admission to get a scholarship easily. But then if you apply at the same time, it depends on how you convince them. And that's what I was telling you. You have to understand the vision and the mission of that scholarship, why it was established, and how does it relate with your personal story and to the specific course. There's some of the courses that some of the scholarship will not apply for. Like the scholarship I applied to, it's only for people doing international law and justice. A medical student cannot apply for that scholarship. So you need to understand how is how is the specific scholarship linking to the university that you've applied to and to the specific course that you're taking. For example, if you're a refugee and you're coming from countries like South Sudan and you're internally displaced, if you get a scholarship or admission to a university that is a partner to MasterCard, you automatically qualify for the scholarship. There are those universities that have linked their admissions to some of the scholarships. But then they will select you based on your own story and to the extent of need and how do you come out as an outstanding student to qualify for that specific scholarship. So it's all about how you package yourself, how you package your own story, and what sets you apart from the rest. Yes, because some of the people have admission and they don't have scholarship, so you have to stay back. Yeah, maybe a few questions because time is up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. My name is Nicodemus and I'm a CFO. So mine is not like a question, but it's like something I want you to help us with, because I feel like this program was introductory to scholarship, universities, and stuff like that. So I was wondering if you could like prepare a program that is going to take us through specific important universities in correlation to some specific careers. That would be very important, because if there's someone down there that need to do software engineering, you're going to recommend them to a specific important university that is good at that, and they can follow it up and like do things like that. So I was wondering if you could prepare a program about that. Secondly, I think you should make some important explanation on whether or not I can still get admission to university even without MasterCard Foundation. I mean, like on my own, can I still get that scholarship to university?
Okay, my name is Anduk. Thank you, Monicah Malith, for this session. And I also have two questions, just like my friend Garen. The first one is about the South Sudan youth. Most of us just find out that they apply for scholarship and then later on they are being asked about their leadership movements, what they have and their goals. We will find that these people put CVs, they actually put things for them to be recommended to a particular university. I just wanted to tell these young people how dangerous is that, and if I told you manage to qualify for that particular scholarship, how will that later on return on yourself and affect you at the end of the day? The other question is about some universities. Happened, I know one of the girls applied for such scholarship, but then she turned out to be given a different career by that particular university out of the career she asked. So how does it come about that a particular university would want to give you a scholarship, but then at the end of the day they end up dictating on the career you want? Thank you.
Okay, you'll come last. Let me answer this first before I forget. You will come here and ask a question. Like I said, this is an introductory section, Nicodemus, and we are preparing subsequent. Like it can be twice in a term, depending on how we agree with the schools, and on the specific courses and preparing universities. Okay, the list of universities, we can do that. We can have a list of universities. And the reason as to why I was telling you to understand the universities, some of the universities are very specific and are very competitive as well. And it links to a question of how do you get a different course from what you applied for. It could be from even what you wrote in your CV or in your personal statement. That whatever you wrote is more linked to this career than what you actually want. That's what I was saying. You have to know how do you link. Those who are talking, how do you link your course that you want to do with your personal story to the scholarship and to the university that you want to go to? And from there you can get the course that you want. Because at times it gets difficult and it's very competitive. And when it's very competitive, there are courses, the university will do their own selection as well, depending on who you are and how you presented your case. Yeah, but then the sessions, we're going to do a list of scholarships And you must not be a MasterCard. Okay, MasterCard, you don't have to do anything with MasterCard. But I'm saying for people from Africa, especially from South Sudan and refugees and internally displaced people, if you're from Jonglei and you're studying in Juba, it might be because of displacement. So if you're a displaced youth and you apply for admission for a certain university, that MasterCard is a partner, you can directly qualify for MasterCard scholarship. So there is nothing in you being a member or anything like that. Yeah. So those are the things I can answer about. Then people have to be very strategic. For those who do forge their CVs, it ends up getting a wrong course. Number two, you end up being disqualified or being discontinued because what you wrote from your CV, and you know, your referees can be sued for writing things that are false about you. Like the director of academics says that he's very good at this and very disciplined, and then you go there and be disciplined. The school can sue him for telling them wrong things about you. If they can link that whatever he was talking about, if they can come back to school and take a track record of who you are and find out that you're not a disciplined student and the teacher wrote about you as being someone who is highly disciplined, he can be sued for that. So you have to know, and even yourself, you put something on your CV, you can be discontinued. And that's why you have to be very, very intentional, very deliberate on how you're preparing yourself for the scholarship. Be disciplined, it will carry you a long way. I'll take the last question. And from there, we'll have, throughout the year, and even before you get your results, I'll be doing the mentorship at times online and physical, and at times alumni. Even we're going to do with those who are in elite and graduated from elite and are not here. So it's a continuous kind of process because I can't give you everything one time. For me, I can give you samples of what I wrote about myself. You always be impressed. Of course, how do you write something that you will get someone impressed and even make comments about you? Yep, the last question. Okay.
Hello guys. By the way, I'm Mike School. You know, it's like you are like we get to reach each other. Then I was like, my question is like directly to you. You know, you'd be like, how can I reach out to you? Should you like drop a number or like you drop it like some Instagram or Facebook thing? So like that.
Road boy.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. For me, Agor, I'm a student of Singapore Art.
Now, let's listen to her.
Anyways, my question is going to be in form of a scenario. I once dreamed of being like a student of Oxford University. So I did a research of Oxford University, what they require for you to be qualified to be a student of Oxford University. And then I got a couple of requirements, things to do with you having certificates of being a leader in a place, maybe schools or in the community, right? Those are things that they expect. And also another thing is the certificate of you being known that you are fluent English. Maybe you can have such certificate. And before you talk about how one cannot be considered a leader, whether you're a head girl or president, that you can be a leader even at your own place, you can lead your siblings at home. Now, since I can be a leader in my mother's house, and the Oxford University, they need me to have certificate that shows that I'm a leader, how will I get such certificate? Because my mother cannot give me such certificate to show to Oxford University.
Okay, I'm going to conclude it with a question. Okay, I'm going to conclude it with a question, not like just something you should tell us. So tell us about life in university. You've already been in university, especially abroad. As a black student, how do you endure with everything there and how do you live out there? Thank you.
My last trip was to Geneva, yes, in December. I've been to Italy, 3 towns in Italy, and New York, Jordan. Yeah, in Africa, Ghana and Zimbabwe. So being abroad needs self-awareness. You need to be aware of yourself. The same way of being in the university. There is no any much difference. It's just that no one will chase you to go to class, or no one will run after you telling you go to class. But then it's tough being in the university. But then knowing yourself and knowing what you want for your own life will lead you or will take you a long way of being a successful person. Because it's one thing enrolling in a degree course, it's another thing to graduate successfully and have the knowledge. To come to our question, or to his question, you can reach out, you can get me anywhere with Monicah Malith. Anywhere. You can Google me. and also put my WhatsApp number here. Yes. Yes, you'll get my WhatsApp number. And coming back to our question, you know you can be the head girl and you write your story that has no impact, that I was the head girl. Yes, it's one thing being the head girl. Can you tell us of the impact you made when you were the head girl? It's one thing to have a title, and it's another thing to have made impact with the title that you made. Because if you're the head girl, for me during my time as the president at the University of Nairobi, I introduced what was called student magazine. Like, it used to be having 2 issues. 2 issues is one magazine. When you do a magazine, it has an issue. The other one is an issue. So we have 2 issues in a year. And became consistent that now it is the same thing that people are coming after me. We have had 3 presidents, 2, after me. And they are doing the same magazine that I did. So it's something that continues. So I would say, during my time I introduced a student magazine, and this magazine helped students introduce or talk about their personal challenges in the university. We also could identify talents of those students who write about specific courses. They make comments and they make inventories. That was the importance of that magazine. Now, another very successful event I did was Mr. NYIN-WONG. One of the biggest event of the university that was attended by more than 5,000 students. And from there, I have the Mr. NYIN-WONG my time. The Mr. now became Mr. University's Kenya, and now is contesting for Mr. University. Is contesting for Mr. Kenya. And if he qualifies, he goes where? To Netherlands for competitions. So I can proudly say, during my time, I was able to bring in Mr. NYIN-WONG, and Mr. now is doing what? Is contesting for what? Mr. Kenya. And he becomes Mr. Kenya and he goes for Mr. World. So that was successful for me. That's a story I can tell, and people identify, she made impactful leadership. So that's what I'm telling you today is, during my time as well, we introduced what was called International Students Office, specifically for international students. I also advocated that all international students, if they are willing, they can be accommodated in school. But initially the school policy said all international students can secure accommodation outside. But now these are the things, a few of the things I did during my leadership. And that's what I would tell the head girl. And that's what connects to you being a head girl or being a head prefect. You cannot get a certificate of leadership, and of course you don't require. It's one of the things, but then how can you tell a story that doesn't have a certificate? For me, I never submitted any certificate for leadership. I don't think you saw it, like you didn't see anywhere that they'll say, submit a certificate for being a leader in a specific place. It doesn't have. For someone who has gone through the application, so that was telling you, you must not have been having a position title, but you must have been doing something in your respective community. Not you having been the elder child doesn't qualify you to be a leader, and you cooking for them doesn't qualify you to be a leader. But what qualifies you to be a leader is when you come back from school, you have tuition for your siblings. That qualifies you to be a leader. And then you can write, during my time, and having been the elder child in my family, I did this for my siblings because they were struggling academically. So I was able to help them, my siblings and the neighbors in our community. I used to train them on this, and then you're a leader. And that's what I was saying, you have to know what have you done that creates impact, not something that you've done to have had a title. Is that okay now? Understood? Yeah. Have you understood it? Satisfied? Right. You can follow up after. Done. And now one thing I'll tell you, how many people have social media, Facebook, wherever, Instagram? All of you. The person who was to link with me. Can you get up? What is your name on Facebook? Keep quiet. Any other person that has a Facebook account or Instagram or LinkedIn? All of you. Who is using their names? My name is Monicah Malith, and if you go to my certificates, you can get them. Who is using their real names? Very few. And let me tell you, you can get a scholarship, you can get admission, get scholarship, but you cannot get a visa because of you calling yourself Ice Cube. On Facebook, because like when I was applying for scholarship to the US, they had to ask me to submit to attach a link to my own social media account, both Facebook, Instagram, anywhere that I am, Twitter, LinkedIn, because they will go run. Whatever you're saying in your CV, in your personal statement, do they link to what you do online? Or are you someone who posts very funny photos of yourself? Or are you someone who has very funny names? And then you don't tell them that I'll not submit the links, because if a link posted you here and they mention your name and they do a search of your official name, photos of you will pop up on your timeline that you call yourself Ice Cube. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is, when you're doing your social media account, be very careful with the names that you use, because you can get a scholarship and get denied to go to the specific university just because of the name that you're using on social media and the content that you post. Academicians are expected, believed to be decent people. But if you're not decent on media, and even if you reflect on what do you comment about, are you commenting on things to do with the government, or have you been involved in any activities that are not communally society doesn't accept them? So you have to be very careful with the names that you use on Facebook or any other place. For me, my Monicah Malith name you can find on my certificates. Just my middle name that is not there, but Monicah is my name, Malith is my father's name. So you have to be very careful, and that was my last comment to make. If Maud Simon has something to add, I can give him. And this is going to be a continuous training and a mentorship session, both out of school and in school, and on individual basis. And our office is in NYIN-WONG. You can always come, School of Public Service. You can always come and reach out to us at the Light of Service. Thank you. Western Campus. School of Public Service is in Western Campus. What's up? I'll write it here. Okay, you can do +254. So I came in today because I've seen the need. Most of the scholarship will ask you a few questions. They can tell you to write a personal statement. What can you say a personal statement is? What is your understanding of personal statement? When you're told to write about a personal statement, you know what a personal statement is? Who has an idea of a personal statement? Yes. So most of the time we find out that scholarships ask you to do personal statements and you don't know what personal statement means. And as scholarship offer quality education after high school, we need to also prepare as you apply for those opportunities. So at the same time, many of you will qualify academically, but will fail because you don't have the necessary mentorship and training to do a successful applications. And this application will entail a lot of things, from understanding the university that you need to go to, from understanding which course you want to do, and how do you talk about yourself. If I ask someone today, can you tell me about yourself? Who can tell me about themselves? Who are you? Who are you? They must get you.
Okay. My name is Bolpe Jale. I'm a student. I'm a student of the high school. A senior 4, science member. Operating ICT. My education background. I completed my primary school in Uganda, Finsanki. And here, in high school, I'm currently now at the research.
I'll do an example of myself. My name is Monicah Malith. I'm a lawyer. My hobbies are swimming, reading books. I'm passionate about international law. My high school and primary school are from Anesta High School and